All right, so thank you so much, everyone, for connecting with us today, and we're really excited to be able to show you today for the first time ever the new Kapp IQ experience that we've just grown in, and it's really about improving all meetings. And so if this looks familiar in your conference rooms for the challenges that most organizations face for how to actually share and really get knowledge workers working together, you're not alone. This is a common challenge that most organizations are figuring out. And organizations are really looking at that you're at certain stages of where you're at for outfitting your meeting rooms or huddle room spaces. And you likely have a communication strategy for either having phones or voice and video conferencing devices in those rooms to be able to enable conversing modalities in a more effective way. But most organizations don't always answer how they'll really answer how they can outfit collaboration, which is really about how you share content and how you enable co-creation and interaction with that content in the same meeting rooms, which is really what we're all about here at SMART. And so if you think about the common tools polled today of what people actually purchase to enable in those meeting rooms, there are likely two major devices we would find in most common knowledge worker rooms that you'd find. You either have some type of display device like a projected screen or flat screens of today, and also dry erase whiteboards. These are the most two common tools you would find in the conference room or meeting rooms alike. 70% of corporate America has dry erase whiteboards in them today, and roughly about 65% of outfitted spaces have some type of display in the room in terms of what they're actually accomplishing in this room. So what SMART really has done is really combine these two major collaboration tool sets into one form factor that really enables a new way of sharing and really complementing video conferencing or audio conferencing meetings alike. So if you think about it, not all meetings are really created equal for a knowledge worker. If you look from the meeting room's perspective, there are multiple different types of meeting room or meeting sessions that our knowledge workers are doing. Sometimes there's actually no sharing required and really just written information is really taken or whiteboarding sessions. There's meetings that revolve around pre-created content from a laptop where you need to share that material with others remotely or locally. And then also now the one that's growing very fast every day now is that mobile devices, tablets, and mobile phones have really taken over that ability to be able to share content in a new way possible. So with that, I'm happy to share with you that SMART has been innovating in this category to complement what you're trying to accomplish in those huddle rooms in a deep way. About a year and a half ago, we launched something called the Kapp Digital Capture Board, which is a dry erase whiteboard that allows you to be able to pair your mobile device and actually share that live with all the different participants that you may have in your session. Beyond that, we have launched a new product called Kapp IQ that we are able to actually live share that as well. I have a built-in whiteboard that allows you to be able to do those capabilities. And then beyond that, we also have last half year, we launched a Kapp IQ Pro, which allows you to now interact like no other in terms of that capability. Well, what I'm happy to explain to you guys today, for the first time for VSGi customers, we're going to show you the new Kapp IQ, what we call all-in-one. And so this new Kapp IQ capability is coming to both Kapp IQ and IQ Pro. It's a new enhancement that is now available to order. And if you have a previous Kapp IQ, you can update to be able to leverage this new experience. And it really takes a new enhanced experience that lets you do a lot more capabilities. Think of it like a smart TV, and rather than just a built-in whiteboard inside, we now have a whole host of capabilities of how we can actually co-create and be able to create more capabilities in the meeting room, whether it's over conference or not. That's essentially what new Kapp IQ All-in-One can do. So if you look at the bottom, there's a bottom taskbar now in the Kapp IQ experience that allows you to switch naturally from whiteboarding scenarios, whether you're capturing whiteboarding notes or parking lot items, to switching to a browser that lets you have no computer required to browse and bring up content from the browser. It lets you switch naturally to your computer with our guest PC access that makes that touch enabled. And lastly, we can actually do screencasting from mobile devices with native support for AirPlay, Miracast, and Google Cast directly to the device. And we do this in a purpose-built approach that allows you to be able to configure in a way for your users a great experience for what you're trying to accomplish. So let me explain that a little bit. This is what the browser looks like when you click on it. The browser lets you instantly access any content from a modern HTML5 browser to be able to review content as you see fit. It's an enriched experience that supports connecting either through a wired connection through RG45, or if you wanted to enable Wi-Fi, it supports ACBGN to be able to allow you to be able to have that full experience. And whatever network policies you offer that device, it will inherit those policies for what you can accomplish. Screencasting is as simple as hitting the screencasting button, and you have native support for AirPlay by just swiping up and be able to connect that instantly where you'd like to go. A very powerful experience for how to share, and we'll actually do a live demonstration for this today. And again, we natively support AirPlay for iOS and Mac devices. We natively support Miracast, which gives you the full Windows 10 phone and PC community, as well as Windows 8.1, and also Android devices from 4.2 and above support Miracast, which gives you that native support naturally to the operating system. No app required to share, and very simple to do. And it optionally has the ability to configure a PIN if you'd like to be able to offer an incremental password challenge. It has the ability to be able to still connect. It's still a smartboard, so it lets you share your computer. And then when you share that computer, let you mark up that experience in a way that is very powerful in terms of the ability to be able to mark up anything beyond Windows, beyond Office, whether that's PDF or any type of software you're looking for. We have universal inking from Smart, regardless of the device that you plug in. And so we can touch enable that with gestures, as well as the ability to pick up a pen and write, and then save natively to the programs that you're working within in a very natural way. That markup on anything is really about interacting with any content, so whether it's AutoCAD or Excel, Word, or a whole host of others, we can even interact with content that is not even savable, like marking up PDF or marking up a browser as an example to be able to be saved later. So with that, what I'm actually going to do is a live demonstration using the video in my room here, and I'm going to stop screen sharing and actually we'll put our focus and attention on the meeting room and be able to share that with Ryan Strymer. So Ryan Strymer is on the call right now, and what I'm going to actually do is pass over control to Ryan. Ryan, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Glad to be here with you right now. So Fraser, thanks for that intro. Let me know, Fraser, when I'm set to go here, when you can see me okay, and I'll kick it off.
You're good to go, Ron.
Excellent. Well, I'm standing in front of Kapp IQ right now, and so Fraser just finished teeing up a lot of the things that Kapp IQ is able to do just kind of by itself. And so I'm going to walk you through a couple of those things, just going to give you a strong visual of what that actually looks like functionally from someone who's in the room interacting with the product itself. So I'm here with a 65-inch Kapp IQ, and as you can see, it's telling me that I can pick up a pen, I can write, erase, and pen. But what I'm going to show you, just to kind of kick things off here in terms of other functionality with the board, is the ability to select other things from a dock at the bottom. So I'm just going to tap that dock, and you'll see now that I have a couple of different selections that I can make based on what it is that I want to do. I have the whiteboard, which is what you see here in front of you right now, the ability, again, to write, erase, and pan through a virtual or an interactive whiteboard session. I can also choose to push this bottom bar down and do all that kind of functionality. Raise my pen up off the board, begin to draw. I can begin to erase with my fist, or I can choose to pan across and give myself the advantage of the panoramic whiteboard there and give myself some more space. But in addition to those pieces, I also have the ability to select a browser that's actually built right into the Kapp IQ unit itself. So one touch, and I'm there on my browser. Now, as you can see here, I'm able to actually interact with the content on the screen. So I'm just one touch with my fingertip on the board, and I'm able to pan around. I'm able to zoom in on these bridges here as well too, and give people a bit of a better view of what I'm looking at and working with. So obviously, I can touch and interact very intuitively with this board. It doesn't take a lot of time to figure out how this works. In fact, it's essentially a giant tablet in some ways, very easy to figure out. I can also flip through other tabs in this browser. So I have the VSGi website here that I can very easily scroll through, look at different locations. Maybe I want to look at who's on that management team and click that as well too. So very, very easy to work with. The last thing that I'll show you is that I can pull up YouTube as well too. So this is just a small video showing Adobe Reader integration with Smart's Meeting Pro software and Smart Bridget. I can hit play, and you can see that that video is actually playing live with sound as well too. I don't know if you can hear the sound through my speaker here, but it is playing. So very easy, very straightforward to use. The browser works exactly as you would expect it to. And of course, I still have that bottom bar, that dock here at the bottom that I can use to toggle back and forth to different things. Now, I could go back to my whiteboard if I wanted to, or I could at this point choose to share my screen from a different device as well too. So I have the ability now to hit this screen share button on the bottom dock, and I'm prompted with a couple of instructions from the board itself. So what it's saying is that if you have a device in the room with you.
It's Fraser. I'm getting some questions just coming in for the browser.
Sure.
So for anyone
Absolutely.
that's watching the session, we've stopped screen sharing, and we want your attention and focus to be on the video screen of the WebEx session. That's where Ryan's delivering you what it's like to be in the room of a Kapp IQ, and he just walked through the browser session. So Ryan, just walk us through a little bit where the button is to be able to bring up the fast switching bar to then do the screencasting demo.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just kind of at the bottom right here. I can see a small little gray tab. I tap that, and that bottom bar appears at the bottom for us. So easy to access for sure. Does that answer that question, Fraser?
Yeah, go ahead and go to screencast, absolutely.
Excellent. So back over to screencast here now. So as you can see on the screen, it's telling me exactly how I need to connect to the board. It kind of walks you through it very simply. So I have an iPad here in my hands right now, and it's telling me that in order to screencast properly onto the Kapp IQ, first I have to connect to the same network. So we call this our open guest network here, just for Wi-Fi here at Smart Headquarters. I also have to find this particular board in my devices. So once I've connected to that proper network, I can choose to AirPlay, and my iPad will find this demo board here. I simply click mirror, and then there you go. I've mirrored my screen from my iPad onto the Kapp IQ itself. So, very easy to do. It's quite responsive, very zippy, and I could go through just about anything here and display from my iPad. The point being is that we jumped through about 2 hoops to get to where we are now. Very easy to switch back and forth between different devices that we're screen sharing, or between different inputs, different modes on the Kapp IQ itself. Now, there is one more thing that I do want to show you that isn't here in the bottom bar at this time, but I also have the ability to plug my laptop or my PC into the board itself and then begin to work and touch and annotate there as well too. So I'm going to put this iPad down, and then I'm going to toggle over to my desktop, the laptop that I have here in room that I'm speaking to you through, and I'm going to interact with a content so that you can see how easy this is. So I'm going to minimize that WebEx session, and then I'm just going to pull up a PDF here actually of Kapp IQ. Now, again, very easy to work with. This is just my PC plugged into the board via HDMI for display purposes and USB for touch and interaction. That same object awareness that you saw on the Kapp whiteboard also applies here. So the ability to touch and scroll using my fingertips. I can lift a pen up off the front of the board and begin to draw into this PDF and then begin to scroll away as well too. It will stay there in PDF, and then I can also use my fist to erase that same ink, the same way that you would with a normal whiteboard, just without that mess afterwards. So really easy to use. I can also pull up, let's try Google Maps as well too. So this is just, sort of a basic showing of the area that your headquarters is located in, but that same functionality applies where I can use my fingertips to pan and zoom and scroll around, and it works very, very simply. So the point being here that we're trying to make is that using all of these features makes toggling between not only different functions, but totally different parts of a process very easy. So with that, I'll pause and I'll put it back to you, Fraser. What have I missed, or what would you like me to go over before we continue with the demo here?
No, that's great, Ryan. So what we just showed is how you can really put your display on steroids, that you have an Ultra HD display that then lets you be able to share in multiple different ways. So no computer required. You have a built-in browser that you can share that window to your local audience. You have the ability to be able to toggle to your computer and laptop, whether it's Mac or PC, and be able to wired share that to a display and be able to make that a touch-sensitive experience and be able to mark that up in a very natural way. And lastly, you can wirelessly broadcast with native AirPlay, Miracast, and Google Cast support by a simple swipe up and toggle to mirror. So the most natural, easiest way, not requiring any apps required to naturally share that experience. So I'm going to go ahead and share back my presentation now with you guys. And so what you're seeing now is my ability to share desktop sharing with you. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in show mode. So not only is Smart able to share content like a normal television can and be able to do that wirelessly or wired and make that touch-enabled like a tablet full experience, but we also have a built-in whiteboard that makes that a very natural experience as well. And so we've made significant improvements on this leading whiteboard built-in platform that we call the Kapp IQ whiteboard. And one of the new features that we've added is the ability to be able to add a library, or what we can actually call pause resuming your sessions directly from the device. So we're actually going to do that demonstration for you in a moment, where you could actually bring up any previous sessions you'd like to bring up and be able to interact with that content, edit it, refine that idea, and continue to go forward. So great tool for whether you're capturing next steps, pro cons, or really getting contribution from your knowledge workers that are in the room for really capturing all the key conclusions you're having with meetings. So as a result, what you'll actually find is your meetings are deeper and you have better decisions made in your meetings, and then more consensus that everyone's on the same page because you actually have a record of what you discussed. Not only that with the whiteboard platform, but we've also are offering a very compelling solution for the ability to wrap up your sessions with the I'm done button. So at any point during your session, if you hit the I'm done button, what it'll actually do is be able to reset your session from fresh on the next group that's actually joining your sessions. As you know, most meeting rooms are very busy, are built in back-to-backs, and you can hit that button, and what it'll actually do is erase the whiteboard, clear your browser history, and close any of the applications, and remain back to start for a fresh, clean experience for your next appointment that you have in the meeting room. So you have no compromise of security or confidentiality in the meetings that you're conducting. So with that, why don't I actually pass back the baton over to Ryan to walk you through the whiteboard demonstration.
Perfect. Thanks, Fraser. So we're going to talk about a couple different things here over the next few minutes in terms of the demo. So Fraser just went over all the built-in features. I'm actually going to start with a different kind of continue as well, too, just to give you the full range of functionality that you have to work with when you use not only Kapp IQ, but other products as well, too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin by panning the camera over just to my right. So give it a moment to adjust here. And what I have here next to me is a Kapp board. So a 42-inch, basically a whiteboard on steroids. So this uses dry erase markers and a couple of cameras in the corners of the boards to actually translate this ink to that smart application, that Kapp app. So whatever I write on the board appears on my app, and I can then share that out to as many as 250 participants who can be, anywhere in the world essentially. So I've saved this session on my phone, and the reason that I show you this is because I'm going to take this analog ink, this normal dry erase marker, and make it digital with a couple taps of my finger on my phone. So I'm going to pan my camera back to the Kapp IQ over on my left, and I'm going to go into my application and pull up that session that I've saved from my Kapp 42 board. I'm going to choose to continue that session, use the app to scan the QR code here in the bottom corner of the Kapp IQ, and what you'll see is that all of the ink that I wrote on that previous board actually now does appear on the Kapp IQ. I just have to scroll over to the one side to find it, but there we go. I've just taken normal, regular dry erase marker and made it digital with 2 taps of my finger. Very, very simple, very straightforward, and quite honestly, there's really no way to mess it up. What I'm going to do, though, at this point is I'm going to erase this. I'm actually going to use just my hand here to do that. And what I want to do is disconnect this session. And I'm going to show you what Fraser was talking about in terms of pulling up other content from the board itself. So we have that built-in library enabled on this board, and I'm going to go through and select a whiteboard session that we've created earlier on today. So this is really a visual to highlight the fact that Kapp IQ is a great display for any space, with a laptop plugged in, without a laptop, or with a mobile device enabled, or nothing but the board itself. So you've just seen me do a couple of different things there in the past about 2 minutes, using a mobile device or using just the Kapp IQ. I've taken analog ink and made it digital by pulling up a previously saved session from my device. And you've just seen me pull up a session that we created a couple hours ago, maybe a couple months ago, that was saved on the board itself to be able to actually re-interact with, begin to draw, erase, or pan, or do whatever it is that we want to do with this session. So very, very straightforward overall. Fraser, I'll pass it back to you for a moment there. What else can I be showing during this part of the demo?
Well, Ryan, I'm getting some questions around it. So what file format is that in? And so for everyone to be aware of the saving concept of this, you can export or email any of the notes via PDF or JPEG. It's kind of your choice and for how you want to share that session out to all your different participants. No blockage there, so everyone could be on the same page at the end of your session. And also because of that pause resume feature, you're never encumbered or stopped for sharing from one session to another. And so whether that's doing from our library directly from the device, let's say you're in a Scrum session where you always have a project team using that room, maybe you want to enable the library to actually do that directly from there, or you can actually access your previous sessions from your phone and pair it directly with Bluetooth to share. I'm getting questions about live share, Ryan. Perhaps maybe we can do a live demonstration about how you can share real-time that session out.
Absolutely, I'd love to. So using the application on my phone, I can actually share this out again with up to 250 people using a simple web link. So I'm going to make that session live right now. And what that allows me to do is invite other people in. So Fraser, if you wouldn't mind putting that link into the chat box window. Folks on the line, if you want to click the link that Fraser gives to you, you can actually join this same whiteboard session and begin to draw over this same whiteboard with me. So feel free to jump in, make a mess. We won't be offended by that. I can see using my app that 2 people have now hopped to this session. And one of the things that I want to point out as people are beginning to join and beginning to interact with us on this whiteboard, and I can see, yep, nice, thank you very much, that's perfect. One of the things that I want to point out is that I could choose how I want to deliver this link to you. Now, we just put it in our chat box window, but I could have emailed it out to you, I could have texted it to you as well. And one of the great things is that on your end, as a participant, you didn't have to download anything to get into this session. You just open this up essentially in your most modern web browser, whatever your computer or your device defaults to. So as the host, I have to have the application on my phone to be able to share this session out to other people, but no one else has to. And again, all 250 people who join this session are free to just hop in without any kind of hurdles to go through. So this is the power of Kapp IQ. Now, I've done a number of demos with people all around the world. I did a whiteboarding session a couple of weeks ago where I was working with one team in Phoenix, and they had another team from their office actually over in India, and we were literally all standing around the same virtual whiteboard space together in real time, which is very valuable for people who want to be able to share ideas and content without being in the same space. The last thing that I'll show you before I pause again is the ability to take snapshots of the content that we're creating on this board. So I'm going to hit this camera button on the Kapp IQ module. I also have that button on my phone as well, too, that I could tap from a different place within the room. But what I'm doing now is I'm essentially creating screenshots of the content that we're building on this board. So I'm just going to take my marker, make a bit of a mess here, and I'll take one more snapshot to show you that we're continuing to capture this content step by step as we add this whiteboard. So this is what we would download as a JPEG or a PDF, and this is what other people can see in real time on their end of the whiteboarding session on whatever device that you might be on. Now, the last thing that I'll say is that if you're on a mobile device, you can actually choose to make another Kapp IQ an endpoint. What I mean is that you can actually link up Kapp IQ to Kapp IQ over any distance and be able to, again, whiteboard together over the same whiteboarding session. So I'll pause again. Fraser, I'll pass it back to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Ryan. Perhaps maybe I can demonstrate that on my end over here. So it is possible to link all 250 live sessions with the ability to be able to actually pair with your Kapp IQ, whether that's browser connecting, your mobile device, or another IQ. So in fact, I have another IQ right in front of me here, and you emailed me the session. So what I'm going to actually do is go to my link that you sent to me, and I'm going to go ahead and tap on that to join. And so I'll show that to the camera that I've just joined that session. As you can notice right here, I'm joining that same session that you're connected to, and I'm able to actually connect or disconnect. But what's very interesting is I have the button at the top that lets me to connect to another IQ. So when I do that, it brings up the QR code. So I can actually walk over to another IQ that I have at my location, and I can actually QR code into that session, and using Bluetooth can directly connect to that same experience and beyond the same session as you, and offer the same ability for inking and annotating as I see fit. So right now it's playing the chronological connection via Bluetooth on that area. For anyone that's wondering, does that count towards my 250 number for concurrency? And the answer is no, because the Bluetooth connection is it's only a physical locations that are actually connecting. So very powerful way of accomplishing that goal directly in a way of making collaboration happen over distance. Great for video conference rooms, great for teleconference rooms alike, and great for ad hoc sessions. So you're not encumbered by a scheduled meeting only. This way you can instantly share ad hoc in a very compelling way. Thanks, Ryan. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right, so that gives you a quick taste, guys, of the demonstration we just walked through on Kapp IQ. So to recap, what we reviewed here was that we have a built-in whiteboard that can do live sharing up to 250 people, lets you connect via an app, and allows for sharing for both contribution and the ability to view out to all participants. I have the ability to have a browser now that's fully built in that lets me share anything I want to really review in that session, whether it's YouTube videos or huddle spaces or maps. It's fully gesturable, very much like a tablet experience that you have in the room and no computer required to do so. I also have the ability to share my computer as well as screencast to the device with an instant ability to work natively with AirPlay and Miracast. So a perfect complement for how to be able to take content on steroids and put it in my conferencing and huddle room spaces. So with that, I'm going to go back to the presentation that I was reviewing with you and go back to the session. So I hope you see that really you could unlock all group decisions better and faster with whatever spaces you're considering, whether it's your operations areas, your training spaces, your meeting rooms, your huddle spaces, your open zones, with SMART to be able to complement what you're trying to accomplish with conversing meetings, and that we can really allow you to standardize on a display that really unlocks the full capabilities further than what you were actually accomplishing today in those meeting rooms. And with VSGi, we want to make an offer that we want to really allow you to take your meetings to the next level today. So this experience that we just reviewed with Kapp IQ comes in a 55-inch, 65-inch, or 75-inch display. The solution is very affordable. If you haven't seen a quotation from SMART lately, the technology for this category has really gone a cost curve down to really offer a tremendous amount of value that's no more than what a traditional display is anyway today. But now it comes built in with whiteboarding and screencasting and browser, and all that capability is available for hardware today. Now, what I will let you know is if you order immediately, the update for the screencasting will come through in fall. So right around October through an update. And so that's what you'll have to do with your system as it arrives. So with that, I will stop sharing and take any type of questions that the audience may have in the meeting. All right, looks like I'm already getting some questions about sizes and so forth. So to be clear, we do have both the dry erase whiteboard product that comes in portrait and landscape. And so the portrait view is more of an easel design. I, in fact, have one of those in the room that I'm in right now. So I will scroll over the video from the Kapp IQ to actually show the 42-inch landscape, the 42-inch portrait view right beside it. That's the dry erase whiteboard. So just to be clear, those are the two different types of products. One's a dry erase whiteboard, and the second is more of that built-in TV that has all those extra capabilities within it. Good question. Reviewing the further questions from the area. What's the process for tuning the Kapp board? So it is true that SMART has continual updates for its firmware. So there's two different ways. There's what's called over-the-air, and so over-the-air is actually as your app updates itself. When it connects, it'll actually choose whether you've enabled it or not to be able to be updated directly from the app itself. That will actually push new firmware and capabilities from it. Secondly, we offer a USB method for updating when you're off the grid. So if it's a straight up Bluetooth radio, to update it, you put in a USB key from our website, and it'll update from there to continue to keep it updated. In fact, on Kapp boards, we're on 1.8 firmware that has a dramatic improvement of performance. And our new Kapp IQ systems also is updatable through USB from the website.
Hey, Fraser, how does SMART support connecting to existing video conference systems if they already have something set up in their room?
Yeah, perfect. Great question. So Kapp IQs come with both a video in and video out. So you can absolutely take the video out from a Kapp IQ board and plug it into the video capture card of a video conferencing system. And that will let you basically take all those channels, the whiteboard, the browser, the screencasting, and the PC input, become 4 switchable inputs that can be worked into any type of video conferencing system. So whether it's a traditional HDX or let's say an MXP even, or a C-Series, all those will work natively in that manner. And the second step is you of course, can also be able to wire it as your main display as well. So we have kind of wiring diagrams in either scenario. What we've really seen Kapp IQ really do well is for dual screens really be their content screen. And then for codecs that do support touch enablement, for both Cisco and Polycom, we support the ability to comply with the touch parameters on Kapp IQ. So if you're on, let's say, Real Presence 300 series, there's an option key that can touch enable, or 500 series offers that natively and above. And then for Spark, Room OS, or other telepresence systems that offer touch enablement, we natively support that as well. Hopefully that answers your question. You got a choice of single or dual screen.
All right, everyone, I've just taken all the participants off of mute, so if you'd like to voice a question while we still have Fraser, now's the time.
Yeah, I actually have a question for you.
Shoot.
So you're saying that you could save these as a PDF. One of the things as a PDF that I tend to do is be able to move around the whiteboard objects on a standard like web conferencing whiteboard. I saw you could do that. You can edit the text that's on there. Does the PDF that this generates, does it actually support layers so that those can be moved or edited after, or is it just simply a write and erase?
So when we save as a PDF and export, it is locking it in time, so it doesn't have the same level of meta information as you're saying with editable. However, if you were to mark up on PDF from a smartboard, we do support any incremental ink strokes as a native comment, and it's fully editable in that meta information. So it depends on where you've saved it. So when you're exporting from our native whiteboard file format to PDF, that's where it will lose some of that richness in terms of that export. However, if you were to continue to edit on PDF, you're good to go. You'll have that full richness experience to edit, manipulate, and change.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. All right, well, last one, guys. This is I had a question about price. How much is the Kapp IQ? So for list price, we start at on a 55-inch, $4,000. That's $39.99 is our list price for a 55-inch. The 65-inch is $49.99, and the 75-inch is $69.99. So all have multiple ins and outs. Each of them have a USB switch, and now are all able to have this new updatable experience that we just demonstrated with screencasting and so forth, all built in. So great way to take your meeting rooms and offer a simple retrofit to really outfit your spaces to be a lot more modern for how meetings are conducted today.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Fraser. I really do appreciate your time. As always, I will send this recording out to everyone who registered for the event. I will also announce the winner of the 42-inch whiteboard later this afternoon. And if we don't have any other questions, I'd like to thank Fraser one more time, and hope we all can answer any more questions you might have. Please send them to your VSGi account manager, and you can also reach out to me or to Fraser.
Thanks so much for the time, guys, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.